Alright, so, in my last review, I was going over two of my personal favorite Mega Man games of all time, with Mega Man 2 being my absolute favorite game out of the series, and Mega Man 3 coming to a close second. But now, it's time to stop going over the best Mega Man games, and start going over to some of the more inferior titles. Because after Mega Man 4 came out, well then, the whole Mega Man series was starting to get stale. And I will talk about that right now. So the game starts out with an opening that tells you about the origins of rock and roll. No, not that type of rock and roll. I'm talking about the two robots that Dr. Light created, who are named Rock and Roll. They were created as two household robots for Dr. Light, but after some of his robots went berserk, Rock asked Dr. Light to be turned into a super robot to fight off these robots, and that's when Mega Man was born. So, Mega Man 4 is pretty much the game in which the Mega Man series started to get really stale. Capcom seemed like they're trying hard to keep the series fresh, much like what they did with Mega Man 3, so I will give them credit for that, but the game is just not that great. Yeah, I know I'm probably gonna get attacked by a bunch of Mega Man fanboys for saying this, especially from some rabid Sonic and Mega Man fanboy whose best friend is a 20-year-old mascot for Domino's Pizza and try all he can to get his mom to sue me just because I so unfairly attacked one of his favorite games. But actually, to be fair, I'm not saying that the game is bad. It just doesn't have the same old magic that the first three Mega Man games did. The gameplay is the same for the most part, but one thing that they did add that's pretty cool is that they actually gave Mega Man the feature to charge his Mega Buster. Now I enjoy using that feature a lot, and it's something I use fairly often. It's especially good to take an enemy out with one blast. Also, after you defeat each Robot Master, then you get this really cool sequence when Mega Man gets his weapon. It shows Mega Man rotating in a 90-degree angle behind a 3D Tron-like grid. For a game on the NES, I gotta say, that's freaking amazing. Now, for some of the main problems about the game. Well, the first real problem that I gotta comment on is that they seem to be running out of ideas for Robot Masters. They've been coming up with the stupidest names, such as Pharaoh Man? Toad Man? Oh, come on, can they really be that desperate? But the main problem with this game is that the levels are just so average. Like I said, they're not bad, but most of the level designs are all just the same. Some of them look similar to those used in other Mega Man games, such as Dive Man Stage for example. Just looking at it, kinda reminds me of Bubble Man Stage from Mega Man 2. Also, the main villain that you fight isn't even Dr. Wily. It turns out to be a Russian scientist named Dr. Cossack. But once you go through his castle and defeat him, then you find out that he's being blackmailed by none other than, of course, Dr. Wily. And that's when you go through Dr. Wily's castle. Well, of course. How could anybody not guess that Dr. Wily would have anything to do with this? Turns out that Dr. Cossack is being blackmailed by Dr. Wily. Gee, it's like, who would not guess something like that? But whatever, let's keep playing. So you're going through Dr. Wily's castle, getting ready to approach him. After you do approach him, then you fight him in his ship. First you take out the skull on his ship. Sounds easy enough, but after you take that down, then that's where it gets tricky. You gotta take down the blue crystal that's on the ship, but it's very hard to reach. Usually you're too low to aim for it, and you can use the rush jet, but that doesn't make it any easier. It wasn't until later that I found out that you gotta charge your Mega Buster while you're at the very edge of the screen. and then jump and aim for the crystal while the ship is closer to you. Now that should be enough to destroy his big ship. Now, I know I'm giving a lot away, but is Mega Man 4 really worth beating Dr. Wily? Wait a minute. That's it? That's the ending to Mega Man 4? That was so not worth it. I mean, all you do is he just begs Mega Man for forgiveness, and then he's like, "Ah, sucker, you didn't defeat me yet. I escaped from my tower." And it'll be continued in Mega Man 5. I mean, can you believe it? What a total jip. But, to be fair, like I said, Mega Man 4 isn't that bad of a game. It has some potential, so I'll give that game a score of 6.5 out of 10. I mean, after all, at least it's better than this game. Ooh, yeah, now this is where the Mega Man series starts to really get stale. So, let's check it out. Well, I will say the story is pretty innovative. The Robot Masters are causing trouble as usual, and the person behind this is... Proto Man! So, moving on to the actual game, I went over how average Mega Man 4 was, but Mega Man 5 is where it gets to be very average. It's like they didn't even try with this game. Looking at the Robot Masters, we have Charge Man, Napalm Man, Starman? Oh yeah, that's a good idea. Name a Robot Master after the Starman from Super Mario Bros. The level designs aren't even that creative either. Some of the designs look the same as the previous Mega Man games, such as Crystal's Man stage, for example. Now what does that remind me of? Oh yeah, Gemini Man stage from Mega Man 3! I would have to say the most original level that they did come up with in this game is Gravity Man stage. And now that stage is pretty innovative. Throughout the level, you have Mega Man walking into different gravitation arrows. The up arrow takes you towards the ceiling, making you move upside down. Now that is awesome. Now, moving on, there's absolutely no strategy to beat the Robot Masters whatsoever. Yeah, I'm not even kidding. It really doesn't even matter what order you fight the Robot Masters in, because every single one of them can be taken out with a simple charge of your Mega Buster. I mean, come on! Why is that so easy? And for that reason, you practically do not need to use any of your weapons you get from defeating each Robot Master. And speaking of that, I was very disappointed in the screen where you do receive the weapons. I mean, it's like in Mega Man 4. We get this awesome 3D-like screen where Mega Man rotates in a 90-degree angle with a 3D Tron-like grid, and that is pretty awesome. But in Mega Man 5, we just see the regular Mega Man sprite switch into the weapon he receives. Wow. Now that is just lame. But you know what also sucks about this game? They totally butchered Rush. Yeah, they gave him a good customization in Mega Man 3. And he wasn't bad in Mega Man 4 either. But Mega Man 5, ugh. I can't believe what they did to Rush. The Rush coil is where his legs becomes a spring, and you have to stay on the Rush coil and then get off. I mean, seriously? Could they possibly do anything else to ruin Rush?
Here we go again!
Well, I guess that answers my question. So, Mega Man 5, it wasn't that great of a game for the Mega Man series. You know, it was at the point where it was really average. However, when you do compare this game with the other games on the NES, with many games on the NES, then this game is actually pretty good. But comparing it to the other Mega Man games, I would just skip that one and go with one of the earlier Mega Man games, like Mega Man 1 or Mega Man 3 or Mega Man 2 or whatever. But now, I give this game a score of 5.5 out of 10. Okay, so now there's one more game out of the 8-bit Mega Man series that I'm going to review, and that is Mega Man 6. So what my opinion about this game is it another average Mega Man game like Mega Man 5, or did they really do a good job with that game? That's going to be coming out on the next video.